Hi, my name is Nyquasia Mano. I am from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and I also currently reside in Milwaukee. My program of study right now is radiography, which is pretty much just a stepping stone because I want to go on to be a sonographer. So once I receive my associate's degree at MATC, that does not stop the schooling. I have to finish and complete more schooling to become a sonographer. I've always known I wanted to work with babies, so sonography is a great fit for me. When I think about milestones in my life that I feel like made me the person who I am, I have to credit the birth of my daughter. When I was pregnant with her, that was a very depressing time for me, the entire 40 weeks, because I actually carried the time. The story is it's a lot, but I found out I was pregnant. I was living in a city that was away from my family, away from all of my loved ones. And once I found out I was pregnant, I decided that, I had to move back to Milwaukee to get help. So I had to move back in with my mother, which was very depressing in itself because I had, moved out of my mom's house, like right away once I became an adult. So I moved back in with my mother. And that alone made me sad because I had to come to Milwaukee with pretty much nothing and start all the way over. I had to give up my home and everything and my job and everything. But the good thing was that I did find a job right away. But I was pregnant and I was high risk. So working hours, the hours that I wanted, was not happening. The main thing that depressed me during my pregnancy was the fact that I decided to get the Down syndrome testing for my child. And that pretty much consists of two things. The first thing being a nuchal ultrasound and the second thing being the blood work. So I got my nuchal ultrasound when I was 12 weeks pregnant. And this was my first pregnancy, so I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know, about all the different types of abnormalities that a fetus can have. So going through this ultrasound, I did not notice that it was something wrong with my child. All I knew was that when the sonographer was doing my ultrasound, she got very quiet. And, to me, it didn't faze me because I actually heard my child's heartbeat. But she got very quiet, and then when she was done, she rushed out of the room to get someone to come and talk to me. So when the lady came in to talk to me, it was a female doctor. She told me that my daughter had a cystic hygroma and that she was going to die. So, me being at this appointment by myself, I'm just distraught and I'm crying and I'm stressed out and no one can calm me down. So at that moment, that's when I found out that I was high risk. Not only did my child have a cystic hygroma, she also had fetal hydrops, which was a very deadly combination. So I was told that at that moment I was 12 weeks. I was told by the time that I was 16 weeks pregnant that my daughter's heart would stop and she would no longer be alive. So every day, was a constant battle for me. I tried my hardest not to cry. I tried my hardest not to break down, but how could you not? So once we found out about that, my doctor tried to basically I wanted to be optimistic, but my doctor did not want me to be optimistic. I had hope. My doctor had no hope. So once it came time for me to get my 16-week checkup, ultrasound, I had 2 appointments that day. I had an ultrasound, but I had my appointment with my OBGYN first. I heard my baby's heartbeat. So that set the tone for a good day for me. So by the time that I got to the ultrasound, the cystic hygroma had completely cleared up. It was gone, which I had saw on the internet, that could happen, but my doctor did not want me to be optimistic. So now that we were in the clear for that, I was still having ultrasounds every month, to monitor her for basically, I guess, for the cystic hygroma to regrow back. And once they tried to clear me of being high risk, I got an ultrasound when I was about 6 months, and they told me I had polyhydramnios. And poly basically is a fancy word for saying excess amniotic fluid. So I was high risk. So on top of living with my mother and, you know, barely working to try to survive and prepare for a baby, I kept finding out that, stuff was wrong with my baby. I finally found a home and everything, but then I had to stop working because I was high risk. So it was not until November 1st of 2017 that it was like all the weights were lifted off my shoulders and I was no longer stressed. And I knew exactly what I had to do to be a better person and a good mother and a good role model for my daughter. And from that day forward, I just knew that I would do good for my kid. And every day I worked towards that and try to improve myself to be better for my daughter. So that was a day for me. That was a milestone in my life that showed me the type of woman that I was becoming was a good person. And ever since that day, I've just been improving as a person. Thank you.